Hey, what you reading for?
Hey, what's up, YouTube? Today I am doing the reading taste tag. This is a tag that was created by Thoughts on Tome, and my name is Martinez. However, I came across this tag by watching a video by The Book Thing, and I'll leave all the links to these other videos in the description box. The first prompt: how do you rate books? Well, stars, 1 to 5 stars. I don't use decimal points, so there's no 3.5, no 4.5. I have to make a decision, right? And I'm quite stingy with my stars. For example, I will read maybe 60 or 70 books in a year and probably have 3, 4, 5-star books. For me, 5-star has to be something exceptional. And I try not to have any 1-star books because I'm trying to get in the habit of DNFing books before that happens. So most of the books range in the 2 to 4-star category. How do you approach reviewing books? I don't feel like I review books. I read them and then I share with the viewers my experience. And my experience has more to do with what was going on in my head at the time of reading it, what my expectations were, what I was hoping to get out of the book, and then my reaction to the experience reading it. I would not call that exactly a book review. I guess I'm just sharing my experiences. And I want to have positive experiences that I can share. That is kind of the goal of how I approach reviewing. I don't like the word review. I don't think it fits what I do. Experiencing and sharing. What's the book that made you a reader? It's probably hundreds of books, right? I mean, it started at a very young age. My earliest memories of reading were with Obelix and Asterix. And after that, as I grew older, as a young teenager, it was Edgar Allan Poe, and then Khalil Gibran. And I think as an adult or as an older teenager, it was The Books of Blood by Clive Barker. I think that's, as an adult, that's really those are the first books that made me a reader, although I was well on my way by then. Do you have a genre niche? I do try to read across the variety of genres. However, I would say about 60% of what I read falls in the category of literary fiction, 30% falls into horror, and then another 10% is for other. Do you generally prefer character-driven or plot-driven stories? Definitely character-driven. Definitely character-driven. I think there are some genres that are more plot-driven, such as mystery or even science fiction, and those genres tend not to work as well on me as other genres because of that. I'm definitely much more interested in character. What's a book that you love so much that you don't care if others don't like it? I'd say pretty much every book that I love. I don't care what others think about it in general. I will say there are some books, for example, Exquisite Corpse by Poppy Z. Bride. I think that book is extraordinary. I give it 5 stars, but it is quite disturbing. It's graphic, it's brutal, it's violent, and it's upsetting. So I can definitely understand if somebody does not have a good time with that book. And I'm not going to care, but I get it. I get it. What's a book that you love so much that if someone else doesn't like it, you know that your reading tastes do not align? Again, I think there are too many factors that go into enjoying a book that I'm not going to hold it against anyone if they have a different reaction than I do. However, I would say there is a book, We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I love Shirley Jackson. And I think this is one of her most, if not the most accessible book of hers. It was the last book she would complete. And it's a short book. It's an easy read. There aren't that many characters. It's mostly set in one location, one coherent timeline, although there is a flashback here and there. It's an accessible book, and it has just the magic of Shirley Jackson's writing. I feel like if you don't get that book, or if you don't like its dark fairy tale kind of vibe to it, yeah, there's a good chance that our reading tastes don't align. Because that's a book that if you have tastes similar to mine, you should like that book. I love that book. So I would say that. We have always lived in the castle. What's in your trash pocket? So are there books that I like that are considered trash? I don't really have a high opinion of trash. I don't look down on people who do like it or who do read it. I tend not to read it. If something is marketed or identified as trash, that's generally going to be a turnoff for me. But I get why some people enjoy it. It's not really, there's not much in my trash pocket. I try to empty my trash when I can. However, I will say, Valley of the Dolls, I guess, is considered kind of a trashy book. And I loved it. Ate it all up. I would also say I do like evil kids horror. So I do read a lot of books about evil kids or killer kids. I guess we could consider that trash as well. I mean, if you consider that trash. Do you have any deal breakers in books? Things that books do that I have no interest in? Unfortunately, I do have deal breakers, and I have far too many of them, and I am actively trying to get rid of them. If I identify a deal breaker, I will then seek out a book that will break the deal breaker, if you will. And I'll give you an example, a relatively recent example. It's multiple POVs. Drive me nuts. Unless your name is Catriona Ward or Gillian Flynn, I see that there's a book in multiple POVs. Chances are I'm not going to read it. Another deal breaker for me is sexual assault. It just rips me out of the story. I don't have the stomach for it. I can't deal with it. However, I come across it so frequently. It's almost inevitable in literary fiction or in genre fiction. Recently, I read Deliverance by James Dickey. I thought it was amazing, 5 stars, but that has a very difficult, inciting incident scene to it. And then recently, I started Lessons in Chemistry. I think I made it 16 pages in, and there's an assault. And I said, no, that's it. And so I DNF'd the book after 16 pages. What's a strong opinion you have about a book released within the last year? Strong opinion. I read Ronald Malfi, his latest book. I think it's set to come out in a few weeks, here in April. It's called Senseless, and I thought it was excellent. It's a crime police thriller. That is a genre that usually does not work with me. In fact, had I known that it was a crime police thriller, I probably wouldn't have asked the publisher for a copy. But I had never read Ronald Malfi before, and I was just curious, so I contacted them, and they sent me the book. And I loved it. So that was a surprise. And I guess that's a strong opinion. I doubt it's a controversial opinion. I think when the book comes out, I think it's going to be a big hit. We'll see. What do you look for in writing? That is a good question because that is a significant factor in what I'm looking for in books and how I enjoy books. A lot of my reading comes from, I approach with a professional eye. I am a writer and not a successful one. So when I read, I am looking to see what resonates with readers, what publishers are putting out, and also just looking to see what my contemporaries or what other authors have done in the past that works and what doesn't work for me. So I do pay a lot of attention on the craft of writing and on the craft of storytelling. So I'm looking for clean, economic writing. I definitely want something inventive. I love when a writer takes chances with the form or with structure, with just stylistically takes chances. I like things a little bit experimental, or if not experimental, at least inventive. How do you decide what to read next? So I do try to keep up to date with what horror writers especially are putting out, and I'll just take a look and see what different publishers are putting out. And if something catches my eye, then I'll contact the publisher and get an advanced reader copy. Other than that, a lot of what I read is based on the kinds of videos I think would work. So I'll have an idea for a video, and then that will inform the books I'm going to read. I'm also kind of obsessive. When I find a writer that I really like, I have to read everything they've put out. So you'll see on this channel several playlists of, where I rank the complete works of an author I really like. Shirley Jackson, Clive Barker, Adam Neville. And I would like to do one for Davis Grubb and another one for Mona Awad. So I have a few books to read for those. And if I find an author that just really resonates with me, I'm going to read everything they've written. It's a bit obsessive, but that's who I am. If you could make any book go viral right now, which book would that be? Well, that would definitely be one of my books. Let's be honest. I mean, let's say this one. Edifice Complex. Karim, an Algerian immigrant in Paris, has his tenuous hold on reality jeopardized when he develops an erotic, obsessive relationship with a residential building set for demolition. I would want this to go viral, or any of my books, because I think they're good books, but they are books that are still looking for their readers, and they have not found their readers, or vice versa. Readers have not found my books. So that's very self-serving, but that is honestly what I would do if I could. If I were to choose somebody else's book, I would say The Contortionist Handbook by Craig Clevenger. This was his debut novel, and he's written 3 books, and I think all 3 are excellent, and I do not understand why Craig Clevenger is not more famous than he is. He is great. The Contortionist Handbook is great, especially if you like Chuck Palahniuk or Mona Awad. I can see commonalities or similarities in their writing. And I would suspect that if you are a fan of Chuck Palahniuk, or if you're a fan of Mona Awad, I think you would also highly enjoy Craig Clevenger. So yeah, that would be the book I would choose to go viral. Who are some booktubers with reading tastes similar to yours? I'll name 3 off the top of my head. We have Mindy's Book Journey. We have Jen from Literary Love 123, and Jolene from Bookworm Adventure Girl. What I like about all 3 of these channels is, yes, our reading tastes are similar. However, frequently what will happen is I will see a review that they do for a book that I've read, a book that I did not really enjoy. And when I watch their video, they're generally more generous than I am. And listening and hearing how they connected with the book and what they were able to get out of it, I think that's helping me out as a reader, because I do need to hang up my hang-ups and be more generous with what I read and be more receptive. And I think watching BookTube, and especially these 3 creators, I think that's helping me as a reader, opening myself up and being less grumpy. So there you have it. Those are the 15 questions. In summary, I would say that my tastes, as they are reflected on this BookTube channel, I definitely like the darkness and the weirdness. So there is a lot of horror and a lot of literary fiction that does explore the dark side. That will be featured on this channel. That's what I like, I gravitate towards as a reader. And with a focus paid on the craft of writing and the writing quality, the inventiveness of the writing. There are many readers who they don't really care about how well the book is written. They're just in it for the story, or they're in it for the fun. And I can appreciate that. And in fact, I even envy those writers at times. However, I am not able to turn off the editor, proofreader in my head. So I am going to be less forgiving to sloppy writing, what I would consider sloppy writing. And there's a lot of it being put out today, unfortunately. So there you have it, a little bit about my reading tastes. You can follow me on Goodreads and compare books there. I'll leave a link in the description box. I look forward to connecting with you in the comment section. Thank you for watching. I'll see you at the next video.